That's what I'm gonna get.
Let me take the mic off so that I can hear if I sound normal. Hello, everybody. Just doing a mic check, making sure everything sounds normal. So that I can hear if I sound normal. Okay, so far so good. Hello, everybody. Just doing a mic check, making sure everything sounds normal. Alrighty. Let me just minimize my screen because it is taking over. Hola, Ne, ¿cómo estás? Yay, you finally made it. How are you? Yes, I'm a happy crafter too because you're here. ¿Cómo estás? Today we're going to be making a card. I said una card. Got the Spanglish going on. We're going to be making a card today. I'm just going to give people time to kind of join us. Hi, Candy. How are you, darling? So we're going to be, I've already pre-fuzzy cut some images, and I got some images that I printed out from my computer and some other things that I printed out from my computer. We're going to be working with some gelatos today. Yes, some gelatos, my own little homemade stencil. It looks like, you know, crapola, but it's been very heavily loved. I designed this stencil myself and pretty much hand cut it all of this humongously long vine. I've had this thing for like years already. Yes, the image is lovely. It's actually from a bigger sheet, but I just trimmed off the pieces that I wanted to use. I wanted to make somewhat of a romantic kind of card today. That's the goal. And it's going to be a really big card. I want to use a full 8.5 by 11 size. So I'm going to get myself some more cardstock because I'm going to need it. I'm going to be backing it on this craft color paper. Maybe I won't use that craft color paper. Maybe I'll use something else. Let me see. Maybe something a little bit more neutral. Something that matches maybe how she looks. I don't know if I want this one though. Let's see. Let's see. Hi, Verify. Hi, Janice. And hello, Finland, not Ireland. Hello, Finland. So let's see. I'm still a few minutes early. Well, I'm on time now, but it's still a few minutes early. So I'm gonna see which card base I'm gonna be creating. Now I'm gonna be attaching this. This is gonna be a 3-piece card. And what I mean by that is that I'm gonna be making a spine to connect these 2 big sheets here. So I'm gonna be creating a spine. Again, I'm not sure if I'm gonna use this craft color paper. I don't really know if I want to use this one. I think I might go for this lighter one. I think it'll match it a little bit better. And plus I have to trim off all the borders from the paper. So I'm probably going to use this one and not the craft colored one. Hola, Naira, ¿cómo estás? Thanks for joining us. So I think I'm going to do it out of this. So kind of to get things moving along, I'm going to cut out a spine that I'm going to use to hook up both of these sides together. Only because I really don't like the use of washi tape to, to connect things together, because washi tape is not really that reliable. So I'm gonna go ahead and get myself about a 2-inch spine. All right. Is this 2 inches? 2 inches is down here. I'm like, why is that so small? 2 inches is right about there. And then I'm going to score this in half. And I'm going to use this strip right here to pretty much bring my 2 cards together. I'm going to put this away because I don't need that anymore. Hopefully I'm not too zoomed in and you guys can see what it is that I'm doing. I don't want to make you all dizzy, but I want you guys to be able to see. So I'm just going to get my little scoring thing here and score this out. Just find my little scoring tool. And this doesn't necessarily have to be, perfectly even on either side because I am going to be covering these spines. Once I glue them, I'm going to be covering them with paper. So just in case you're a little off, you can also fold it by hand. It's really up to you. I'm just going to go ahead and create that score line right there. I'm going to fold it over. And that's pretty much it for that. This is a very simple type of card to make. You have the papers and the different little elements to glue on. You can pretty much make this any kind of size you want. So I'm going to be creating somewhat of a romantic card. I haven't done paper crafting on my channel for a while. And, every now and then I have to come out of the paint. I have to take my head out of the paint bucket, if you will, and dabble a little bit with paper crafting and kind of get myself going that way. But before I create this card, so I won't be needing this, or maybe I can still use this. So I don't want to waste any scraps. So I have one more piece that I'm going to be using on this card here, which is this clock that I want to add in here somewhere. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Let me put all of these things there. This is going to be my sentiment, the word love. And this is like an open to any type of occasion. It could be birthday, it could be Valentine's, it could be anniversary. I mean, it could really be just about anything. Hi, Debbie. How are you, darling? So pretty much, I've got my spine and my 2 pieces of cardstock, which is going to be my card base. And what's going to help me create my card. I'm going to go ahead and trim this clock out. I'm going to glue this down, and I'm going to fuzzy cut that as well. And I like to back up my images, so I usually try to glue them on some type of cardstock just because I don't like the flimsy paper, plus it tears so much easier. And I've got some like little bits of trims that I'm going to be using on this card. So right now I'm just going to pretty much bring this down. Hello, Carrie. How are you? So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of glue. And this is just Elmer's, glue stick. I'm going to pretty much mainly glue the clock area because that's really the area that I'm mostly worried about. That's the area that I want to trim out. So no need to add glue all over the paper. And then I'm going to need, where is my spatula? I'm just looking for, can I use this? I'll use this bone folder here. I want to remove all the bumps of glue. I don't want none of those bumps of glue on it. I just want to make sure that I pretty much get the clock. That's what I'm going for here. Then I'm just going to smooth that right over so that I don't get any bumps or creases on my paper. I think that's just about right. And I'm sorry about the squeaky chair, you guys. I don't know if you guys can hear that. My chair squeaks like crazy. I gotta remember to keep myself in frame here. So this is gonna be a couple of different layers between adding the ephemera pieces, if you will, the little die cuts that I kind of handmade, and just all the different things to it. I usually try to save whenever I run into like a really beautiful image or a beautiful background that is like royalty free mainly. I try to save them whenever I can. And so I have a nice assortment collection, if you will, of all kinds of images. That whenever I'm kind of like in a crafty funk, I just open up that folder and start looking through everything. And usually something kind of pops out at me. Hi, Nada. I print my images on both, but what I will tell you is that I found, at least for my type of printer, I have a PhotoSmart C4400, I think is the series. It's a really awesome printer. I really love how it prints, especially like when you're trying to print like pictures, like family pictures and stuff like that. It does a really awesome job. But one thing that I did notice is that when I go print on cardstock, maybe because the absorption of the ink is different on the cardstock, my images themselves will not come out as crisp on cardstock. And I think it's because of the way that the paper absorbs the ink. When I print it on paper, I get a much crisp image, a crispier image, or crisper image. I don't know how was the right way to say that, but it looks a lot more more crisp. I don't know if I have an example here. Well, this is on paper. So let me see if I printed out anything on cardstock. Like with this image here and even that clock there, this is cardstock. When I print these on paper, it comes out a lot better. The edges look a lot smoother. Everything looks a lot nicer. When I print it on paper, it does it. This image, I guess, is a higher resolution image. So even when I print it on cardstock, it still shows pretty well. But for some of my other ones, it just doesn't work out the way I want it to. So 9 times out of 10, I will print it on paper and then just glue it down to some cardstock. Hi, Linda. How are you? Hello, Harasa. Is that how you say your name? Hopefully I said it properly. So that's pretty much what I do, you know, when it comes to printing these things out. Sometimes I will print it on cardstock, but again, it all depends on I guess the quality. The quality has to be like really, really high def in order for it to come out really, really good. Sometimes it doesn't work out the way I want it to. So I have my 2 pieces here, and then I'm going to be assembling this at the end. So the first thing that I'm going to work on is pretty much gluing down my paper. But this is pretty much the idea behind this is just to glue this down to that, have a little spine there, and then pretty much you'll be able to open your card like so, and it'll be a nice big card. And then I'm going to cover this with paper on the inside and on the outside as well. And I'm kind of debating right now. I have a couple of patterns here that I've printed out. So we'll see what happens. And I'm going to ink these up with some Distress. And then I'm also thinking about adding some gelatos to my stencil. I don't want to add any water or anything that is that can possibly move the ink, you know, from the printer on the paper. I don't want it to get messed up. So I'm going to do that. And then I have some little butterflies that I punched out with a Martha Stewart. These are some beautiful die cuts that were gifted to me. So I'm going to be using that. And then my love sentiment. I'm also going to be coloring in with gelatos and using that as well. Thank you. Yes, I got, you know, like I said, I always try to save them. So I always go hunting, you know, for these types of things. And every now and then I wake up in that mood of, you need to find some paper. And so I do that. So I'm trying to figure out which one of these, because those are, I think these two, between these two, I think it'll match. And I'm pretty much basing that off of the color of the butterfly. This butterfly was actually attached to this here somewhere. And these images were all part of the one sheet. And then they had like a distressed kind of background, which I wasn't really, you know, caring too much for because I knew I wanted to use one of these. So I just kind of want to see, you know, on which one. And I'm really liking, I think, this one at the moment. I think I might use that on the inside and use this one like on the outside. I really like this whole pattern. It's a beautiful pattern on that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this on the inside. So I'm going to go ahead and trim these edges off because I don't really need the white edges on here. And then I'm going to proceed to, I guess, distress most of my edges. Today might be somewhat of a quicker kind of project. I'm only going to be making the one card. So I might not be on for too long, but we'll definitely get this going start to finish, and we'll see how it all ends up. Online, I find most of the images that I use when it's like that, I find them online. You know, I take like a day, and whenever I'm bored or not finding myself in a very crafty kind of mood, I just go hunting. I go searching. I just, whatever word pops into my head, I just Google it. And I'll save whatever appeals to me and discard whatever doesn't. So I'm just going to trim off. You can also, you know, print these without borders. It's completely up to you. I wasn't really paying too much attention to the whole border thing. I probably should have. I could have used the entire paper as opposed to having to trim off these borders now, but it's okay. I'll make do. Just trimming off some little edges here and there so that I have a solid kind of background here. I have to be careful with these things because sometimes when you go trim off these little edges, like it'll crimp up and you'll end up losing your entire paper. You'll end up losing a chunk of it. So I think that'll be good for now. I'll do them as I need them because I'm still kind of debating on what the inside is going to be. So we'll take it one step at a time. Hi, Deb. Hi, Janet. Hello, my beautiful people. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me today. It is so appreciated. So I got my edges trimmed off my paper. And we are going to now go ahead and glue this down to our cover. I'm going to put these on my laptop here so that they're not in my way. And I'm going to work on one piece at a time. And then once we're done decorating it and everything, then I'll glue it onto the spine. I think that makes life a little bit easier than having to fumble over the different pieces. And again, you can do this pretty much to any size card. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, using this for a large one. You can also do this with a small one, and that way you don't have to worry about messing up the backs, the sides, the fronts, the insides, the outsides. You can just create yourself a little spine and get your pieces together, then just glue them together and then work off of it that way. It's about right. My issue now is getting the paper straight, you guys. I know getting the paper straight is like the hardest part. So I'm gonna try to do this in a way that it makes some level of sense in my brain, right? So I think I'm gonna hold it in place. And I think what I'm gonna do to help me do that is actually grab a little bit, just a tiny little bit of double-sided paper. And I'm gonna apply it on each corner. And you don't need a lot, you just need a little bit. Just enough to create a little bit of stickiness there. so that you can position your paper and then not have to worry about it moving around on you. So I'm going to try that and see if that works. So fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So I'm going to try to level this from the bottom up and hopefully get it nice and straight, because getting it straight is really what I'm going for here, is trying to get it leveled. And mission accomplished. So now that it's leveled, at least I think it is, right? It's somewhat leveled. You can always add a little bit of something somewhere, right? I'm going to go ahead and add some of my world famous glue. My world famous glue. It should be by now, as much as I promote it. It should be by now. So let's see. I'll worry about the edges as I go around. My thing is right now making sure that this paper is straight. Straight, straight, straight. And I moved it a little bit just to kind of get it to stick down. And then I'll finish this off on this end and worry about the top end as I get there. Since we didn't add too much, it shouldn't be very hard to lift up. And just rub that little piece of tape off very carefully, but rub it right off. Since you didn't put a lot, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. And then you can continue. And that should help to at least get your positioning down. So that you can get your paper the way you want it. I'm gonna just use this there. Then I'm gonna go around my edges. Since I'm not gonna be adding water to this, I don't need to really worry about it. And you can just kind of separate your two sides there. I'm using a fine tip, but you should be able to do this with just about any glue. Just make a small little hole on the top, and you should only be able to get a little bit of glue. Like with this one, which usually tends to have a really big one, I sacrificed one of my little jewelry little pin things, and after I poked the hole with the needle, now I just have this, and now when I squeeze this out, I only get a little tiny drop of glue. So I have a better relationship with Aleene's now because of it. So just a little something for you guys there. Sometimes it works. Just don't put too much tape so that you don't really stick it down. Like, unless that's what you're trying to go for, so you don't really stick it down. It'll at least help you to get your positioning. And then you can figure out the rest as you go, depending on how you want to kind of glue it down. But this kind of helps everything in place for me. And I am in love with this background. I am in love with this background. And now we can put this to the side because this part of it is already done. Like, it's just that simple. This part of it is already done. I'm going to go ahead and grab myself this cardstock that I kind of, did some printing on the other side. But I'm going to go ahead and get myself some Distress. Yes, it's my favorite too. OMG. I've been using this thing for years. I didn't even realize it was going to be such a staple in my life. Like, when I first got it, I was like, hey, let me try it. So pretty much just distressing these edges. Well, not distressing them, inking them up. I haven't distressed them yet. But I will be doing a little bit of distressing around them with the scissor. But I like to ink them first and then let them catch that ink. And then usually what I'll do is that I'll go into them and then distress it a little bit and just rough up that edge. And then I'll go around it yet again with the ink. I do apologize for all the noise. I was like, what am I going to create today? I've been kind of in the slumps lately with all of this YouTube nonsense. So I'm like, I need to craft. Hola, Jackie. Te están mandando saludos. ¿Cómo estás? So for the most part, we are going to see. We're going to see. So the edges kind of curl up a little bit, which is pretty much what I want. I want it to have that texture of dimension. It makes it, for me, it makes it feel like it's thicker than what it actually is. And then once you glue it all down, it usually works out pretty well. I'm going to be adding some foam pieces to the back of this. And I'm going to prep that now and have that just ready to go. So when it's time for me to get this choo-choo train moving, I am one happy camper. So let's see what I have here. This should be good enough. So I'm just going to add some. Some of this is going to show. Some of this is not going to show because I am going to be tucking this behind some of the images. So it's just going to kind of peek through, but it's not all going to be, you know, completely visible. I'm going to need one more piece for my center. And I always add glue to my foam, even though it's sticky, I just don't trust it. I don't trust it, you guys. I know, isn't that like the worst? I'm so confused. I'm so confused right now with that whole situation. I emailed them, but pretty much they just gave me verbiage and nothing really concrete. But they did use some words that I wasn't really too intrigued by. Like they're trying to separate creators from actors. And I'm like, we're crafters. I know it sounds the same, but it's not the same, you know. And everybody's trying to learn and show what they're learning. There's a difference there between people that do stunts for views and money and people that create and craft, you know. But that's YouTube for you guys. So this piece is ready. I'm just going to put this to the side for right now. And what else am I going to? I'm going to just ink up as many of these little pieces as I can. And again, I'm going to use the same thing. So we'll see. We'll see what kind of happens here. All these butterflies were punched out with the Martha Stewart punch. Yes, TikTok, don't trust. You got that right, Janet. A lot of craziness is happening this year. And I started it off on such a good foot, you guys. But that just goes to show you, you can never let your guard down. Not even on YouTube, you guys. Especially not on YouTube. But we can't give up. We got to show them that we stand strong, we stand united. And, you know, we're going to be here for the long haul. I'm going to be here regardless if they pay me or not, because this is just something that I like to do. And I'll probably burst if I couldn't do it. So I definitely have to do it. I definitely have to do it, but it is what it is, you know. I think at the end of the day, they'll come to a point where they're adjusting it. You know, they're, as they go adjusting it and they go adjusting it. I just hope that they don't make it to the point that it's literally impossible for us to be here, because the funnel is getting tighter, you guys. The funnel is getting tighter. And at least for me, since it's a passion of mine and I would be doing it anyway, regardless if I was recording it or not recording it, I would still be doing it. The financial aspect of it was a nice little perk. You know, it was a bonus. It was the cherry on top of the ice cream. But I get, at the end of the day, this is the whole ice cream. So it is what it is. For now, I'm just gonna live with it and see what happens. So all my little butterflies are inked up, giving them that dimensional 3D effect. And we shall see what happens. So I'm gonna gather these up and put these here somewhere on the side. Now we're gonna play with some gelatos, you guys. Yes, I pulled up the gelatos today. No paint, even though this is considered painting, I guess. But I was gonna paint today and create a mixed media card. I might do that for another video. And just do like painting and just go crazy, because it's very therapeutic for me, you guys. And I need all the free therapy I can get now that YouTube is not gonna pay me. You know? I need all the therapy that I can get now that YouTube is not gonna be paying us. We gotta keep sane through these times. So let's see. What color is this? It's like ice rose. Oh, I like that, but I don't think it's lighted. I want to get a brown one. These are like metallic ones. So now to my arsenal, I have these, which are the the gel sticks. These are the kid ones, which are really affordable. I think you get like 12 of them for like 12 bucks, 13 bucks, somewhere around that range. Get them while you can, because I think that they're going to be discontinued. So if you find them anywhere, buy them. Search online for them. Search eBay for them. And get them while you can, you guys. I think I'm going to go with this white, because it's like an icy kind of white. Oh, I like that. It gives it like a nice little shimmer. Hopefully you guys can catch that on there. Let's see. Maybe putting it on here. But I'm also going to add a little bit of brown to this as well. This is really easy to apply. You can literally just rub it in with your fingers. You don't even have to add water if you don't want to. The water just gives it more of a watercolor effect, and it allows you to sometimes blend colors a little bit better. But for the most part, this is that kind of thing that you can actually just use with your fingers, with a sponge, or with a brush. It's very easy to apply, and it runs very, very smooth for the most part. And I don't play with these as often as I should. I play with them in my art journal, but when it comes to like actual crafting for you guys, the Faber-Castell gel sticks, they're the same size, give or take. These are for like adults, right? These are the gelatos. They have the name gelato on them. These are gel sticks. They don't have any name. The only thing they say is Faber-Castell, and they come in a pack of 12, I believe. I believe they come in a pack of 12. Ugh, I gotta push this down. Anyway, I'll push that in a minute. But yes, they're awesome. And you can create so many kind of fun effects. And like Deb was mentioning the other day, you can even mix this in with your paste, like with your modeling paste and stuff like that. You could even, take a few chunks of this, scrape a few chunks of this off and mix it in, and you could change the color of your pastes and create some really fun effects with them. Trying to be careful with this because I don't want it to break on me. I'm using gelatos, Jackie. I'm using gelatos. I don't use these enough when I'm crafting with you guys. I've used them a few times, but I got some new ones. I got these metallic ones, which I'm in love with. They're so shiny, and you guys know I love metallic stuff. How's that brown looking? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go for this one. This is a darker one. So the first color that I used is metallic icing. And this one is gonna be iced coffee. Oh, Janet, iced coffee. Yes, darling. I try. I try. I don't always succeed, but I do try. That's the least that I can do. So I'm gonna add a little bit just to the bottom, just to, like, you know, emphasize a little bit of shading here, just to the bottom. We'll see how it looks once I put it on the thing, but just in the bottom. I don't want to go too crazy with it. At least not with the brown. I just want to add a little bit, just right at the bottom. Give it like not so much of an ombre effect, but a little bit of an effect. A little bit of an effect. And again, it rubs out so nicely. I'm gonna go a little bit longer with this one because the L is just humongous compared to the rest of the word. So just a little bit. Just a little bit, Hi, Lisa. How are you? Oh, Isabel, ¿cómo estás? You got coffee? Oh, my. Everybody in the room who wants coffee, raise your hand. All my coffee lovers. Oh, wait. I'm going to leave this brown out. Is it that one? Iced coffee. I'm going to leave that brown out because what I'm going to do now is actually I'm going to be using some of that to run through my stencil on top of my background, you guys. So cross your fingers. Hopefully this will work. I don't want to mess up my page, but I do want to play a little. And if you don't get to experiment, what fun are supplies, right? Right. So let's see. I think I want to do it this way. And this is my own handmade stencil that I created. This is a folder, one of those school folders. This is the plastic one, the real cheap ones. I went looking for more because I wanted to do more stencils, but they were all sold out. I have to try to get some more. But these are the real cheap ones. You don't find these that often because usually they have like the paper ones when the kids go back to school, which I don't really like, especially for stenciling because they don't last. I've had this stencil here for a couple years and it's still going strong. And for those of you that came in, these are the images that I'm going to be using on this card. My romantic card. Mi carta de amor. Tarjeta de amor, right? Love card. Even when you say it, it sounds nice, right? Tarjeta de amor. Even there, it sounds romantic. So let's see. So this is what I want to do. And for those of you that didn't see, this is the background. For those of you that walked in a little bit later, this is the background that I'm going to use. And I want to add a little bit of this. I don't want to add too much, but I do want to add just a nice little vine kind of coming down. And I'm okay with it kind of going over my pattern here. I just want to put it in a nice spot. And I'm going to grab some washi tape and tape that down. Oh, I drew it. I drew it, took my time, and with you know, with an X-Acto, I pretty much went into it. Went into it like butter. And that's what I like about this this plastic. It's very nice to actually go into it. There's not that much resistance. Like with some plastics, it's really hard to do. I have a few others stencils that I made. This is how I started, you guys. When I first started on YouTube, you know, I didn't want to really invest too much money into buying this and buying that when I wasn't really sure, you know, where I was gonna fall. Like, how much in love am I gonna be with this? Actually showing it, demonstrating it, putting it on YouTube, and all of those things. So I didn't really want to invest too much time and energy into buying all of these different things. So what I ended up doing is I made a lot of my own stuff. That's how I started. I made everything. I made my own gesso, my own modeling paste. I made my own stencils. I made my own canvas. I made everything from scratch. And that's how I started. So I still have a lot of the things that kind of keep me grounded. I eat my own little handmade stencils and stuff like that. But yes. Hi, Jen. Thanks for joining us. Yay, Isabel. Woohoo. I can't wait to see it. Tomorrow's going to be super exciting, you guys. Tomorrow's going to be super exciting. We have the hop and everything to do with this hop tomorrow and everybody that's in it. And we're all going to be showing you some fun stuff. So pretty much what I'm doing is I'm rubbing out. I'm trying to see how it's going to look. I don't know how dark I want it yet. So to test that out, I pretty much made my own little foam things, you know, like this. The things that go on the, I made my own. So I added that fabric thing on the back, what you call that thing? This. From the dollar store. What is it? Felt? Felt. I added some felt. I was lucky enough to find some round foam, like a tube, and I went to town on this baby. And I made a whole bunch of them. I ended up with like 20 of them. Now they're not the same quality as, let's say this. They might not last just as long, but for playing around with paint and this kind of stuff, they do the job. They do the job, you guys. Hi, Donna. How are you? Yes, me too, Janet. I'm so looking forward to it. So let's see, you guys. So pretty much all you got to do, no water, you guys, unless you've already prepped your surface. I'm not prepping anything. I don't need to prep this because I'm not doing painting. I'm not spraying with water or anything like that. So you can actually just use it straight on. And I'm really digging how this is looking. And pretty much just try to go in one motion, depending on where your stencils are. So like you see how my lines are this way? Don't push into it to the side. Your lines are going down, then rub down. Don't go into the stencil because then you're going to go under the stencil. And that applies to pretty much adding modeling paste or anything of that nature. When you go against the design is when you end up putting the modeling paste and everything, you know, under the template, whatever it is that you're using. Now, granted, if you don't have gelatos, you could do the same thing with ink. Like I could grab this and my Tim Holtz Distress or any other ink pad and do the same exact thing. But this is metallic, and you guys know I can't stay away from metallic, even if I try. So pretty much just going right into it, holding my stencil down as I go applying it, just so that I don't move it in a direction that I don't want it to move. Now, when you're applying modeling paste, you can't really do that too much. You can't really hold it down in sections unless you have the world's tiniest spatula and you're able to get into it like that. But like this is perfectly fine. It's doing what I need. That's gonna look so pretty. Yes, 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 yes. Aw. You tired, Donna? I know your job is hard, girl. Well, anybody, you know, any job is hard, but those especially, I've done those kinds of jobs before. Those are not easy. Between the emotional stress, the workload itself is no picnic. You come more mentally tired sometimes than you do physically. So once this is all done, and pretty much as I'm doing this, I am kind of shredding my little sponge. This is why I didn't want to do it so much with the Tim Holtz one. I'd rather do it with like a really cheap one because I won't care so much if it gets messed up. Same thing with a makeup applicator. You can use it for the same exact thing. Hi, Joyce. So again, just pushing down. My biggest issue with these things is that I'm not the tidiest person when it comes to actually maintaining my stencils clean. I used to be a lot better at it, but with time, I started to get really lazy when it came to cleaning it. I don't know if that happens to you guys also, but I started getting really lazy when it came to cleaning them. And so they've accumulated paste and all kinds of stuff on them through time. I'm trying to not really touch the paper too much, which is why I'm blowing off the any little bits that fall off, I'm blowing them away so that they don't dirty the rest of my paper. And I'm trying to apply this a little bit at a time, and a little bit does really go a long way, you guys. You don't have to, you know, color it in. You can if you want to, but this applies a little bit better if you apply it on something. In my opinion, Jan, there really is no difference between the two. They both pretty much the same exact thing. You can water them down. You can apply them as is. You can rub them out. You can blend them with each other. You can use them with stencil, on paper, on canvas, on mixed media, watercolor. I mean, in my opinion, they're pretty much the same thing. They're just different brands and different sizes and different prices. Oh, no, Donna. Yes, she is. Donna definitely is. And I know that firsthand. So, yeah, I mean, to me, they're pretty much, you know, they're pretty much the same. I could go for either or. And if I had both of them together, I would use them pretty much the same way. So we're about to reveal what this looks like, you guys. Are you ready? Are you ready? That I got everything covered the way that I wanted to. And this is less messy, although obviously it doesn't provide any dimension, but it's a lot less messier, in my opinion, than using the other one. There we go. Super easy, super simple. And I just created another element to this paper that it didn't have before. So success. It's just what I wanted. Okay. Yes, it's not easy. Yes, right? It came out really good. So now what we're going to do, because I only want to add the one. I don't want to overwhelm I don't want to take away from this beautiful background. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start edging up my elements. I'm thinking about this bird cage. I'm debating with it, to be honest with you. I don't know if I want to add this or not, because I am going to be adding this clock. So we'll see how that kind of goes. That's going to go somewhere. Oops, I dropped something. Somewhere around here, I'm going to be adding this butterfly. Probably somewhere around there, or maybe somewhere around there, so that it has somewhere to kind of sit and rest. This is going to go somewhere around here. This is going to go somewhere around there. And that's going to be kind of how that's going to go. And then to kind of embellish that a little bit, I've got some trims here that I'm going to be placing somewhere in the bottom and maybe somewhere along the tops. So little something here and there. And then I've distressed, if you will, right? Gave it a little bit of a distressed look. This word love, which I'm going to be adding somewhere here, I think, or maybe on the clock somewhere. I don't know. I don't think on the clock. I think somewhere up there I'm going to be adding this. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Let me just clean up my hands a little bit. Let me get my little handy dandy alcohol. Mike, what? You're in a cup, Janet, or you got a cup? You guys are funny as all heck. Yes, very vintage. And I actually cut all of these apart from a larger image that was like all distressed and stuff like that. I kind of blew it up to make it nice and big. And she is stunning, isn't she? I love it. And this is all part of the same thing. And then this little butterfly here was attached somewhere there on the top, but I'm not gonna, well, maybe I will. Maybe I'll attach it kind of half on the clock, half off. And then I'll add maybe the word love here somewhere on the vine. Because love grows like a vine. So maybe I'll do something like that. We'll see. And I might even add more color to this. It all depends on how I like it. because I don't know if I like it up there. I might not even use the word altogether. So let's see. This is kind of what I was going with this originally. And then I'm going to have to pop her up maybe a little bit, at least on the top. I don't think I want this in the background. I think I'm going to just leave it with the clock. So I'm going to go ahead and finish distressing these because this is all that I have left to do on that part of it. And then we're going to continue. Hello, Susan. So let me go ahead and get my page back that I was using to kind of distress these out. So I'm going to go ahead and distress some of these images. And for that, I am going to use, you know, the little Tim Holtz sponge. Only because the other one is predominantly used for those kinds of projects where I don't really care too much if I shred it, because it doesn't really last too long. But it didn't cost me anything, so hey, that's a recycled product right there. If you can use it for more than one thing, you've won already. So I'm just going to get rid of some of these white edges because that's really what I'm worried about. It's just getting rid of some of these white edges. I'm not going to bring any ink into the image itself other than just covering up some of this. And I'm going to go all the way around, even though I'm pretty sure I'm going to be covering that up in the bottom, but that's okay. That's okay. And that's pretty much just about done. These little things are so handy, these little sponges, I tell you. They're so handy. Okay. Now for these, I think I am gonna go into these just a little bit to bring a little bit of tint to the top of those flowers. Tulips and some other stuff going on in here. I'm not really good with the names of flowers, so just know it's in arrangements. It's in arrangements. To me, all flowers are flowers, even if they're roses, just like all cereal is Cheerios, even though there might be cornflakes or something else involved. That's just how I was raised. So we shall figure it out. Whoever receives it can tell me, like, okay, this is this flower. Hopefully they'll know because I have no idea. I have no idea, you guys. I have no idea. I just know that the images are beautiful, and that's all I go by. I just have some beautiful images, you guys. What are they? I have no idea. Thanks. Yes, isn't it beautiful? It's amazing the things that you can find when you go online. Like, oh my God, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff. And what's crazy is that these are the images that in my opinion, the bigger companies kind of use in collage in different ways and sell it right back to us, which is fine because listen, at the end of the day, sometimes they do these amazing collages with these papers that you're just like, I just have to have it. But for the most part, you can create a lot of that stuff yourself. Yes, you can. I'm not going to be using that. I'm going to be using that birdcage probably on something else. I really wanted to use this, but I don't think I'm going to, I don't know. I like it. I might use it maybe on the inside, maybe not so much on the outside. So we'll see how that kind of works itself out. So I'm good with these. I'm going to get some more foam dots so that I can kind of build up where I need to build up and really give this cover some dimension, because that's really where I was going with this. I didn't want to make it flush and flat. I really wanted these to be really dimensional. I want whoever receives this card to not just receive a card, but to receive like a present all wrapped up in one. Hi, Candy. You might be right. I'll definitely try out all different kinds of scenarios. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. In the meanwhile, I'm gonna go you know, foam dotting, you guys, foam dotting all my pieces here. I'm not gonna foam dot the bottom because I am gonna glue this down to the bottom, but I will be foaming it up maybe along the top just to create that element of shadow there. For the most part. we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. They stuck together. Those traitors. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I wanted to definitely use this. Like, that was my original idea. But I had forgot that I had printed the clock. So I'm like, oh, now I'm like stuck. Which one of the two do I use? Do I use them both? Oh no, decisions. Decisions, you guys. Okay, so I think right there and right there should be good, because again, I am gonna go ahead and kind of mount this. Let's see. Let's see. That might look nice there. Let's see. That might look nice there. I have to figure out what I'm gonna do here. I might have to add go into my flower arrangements and see. See that it's so big that I think I would lose a lot of it, and since I can't really prop it up, I think I would lose a lot of that the design on this, and I think this is just too beautiful to just hide it here somewhere. And I got this thing backwards. What am I doing? I got this thing backwards, you guys. So I would really love to use it, but it's a little large. Like, if it would have just been that, then that might have actually worked a little bit better. With her being dimensional and this just being kind of stuck on there, and then maybe just adding like the butterflies somewhere, you know, up here somewhere. That would have looked really cool as well. I don't know, you guys. What do you think? Should I go for the clock or for the bird cage? With the clock, I mean with the bird cage, or with the clock? Because the clock I could even just bring up a little bit. I don't even have to bring it all the way down like that. Hopefully you guys are seeing this thing. Hopefully I'm in frame. I got them online as I do everything else. The clock. Yes, I like the clock too. All right, so clock it is. I'll definitely be coming back to do another project with this though. That's for sure. Because I love this thing too. So let's see. So I got these ready to go. Let me kind of foam dot that as well. But I think I'm only going to foam dot the top of her head, and I'm not going to worry so much about the bottom. We'll see how that kind of works itself out. Yes, because it gave it that contrast, right? I'm going to see if there's something else that I can find that I might be able to use there that might not be so big. And then maybe I can still manage to fill in that little area some, and still create like that contrast, because that's what I kind of liked about it as well, was the fact that it gave it like that nice little contrast there. Let me see what I find, because I might get lucky, you guys. Cross your fingers for me. Every now and then I do get lucky. How about that? Ooh. How about that window right there? Or is that too much? Too glittery? It's very glittery. What happened? So will that do, you guys? The little window there? I have 2 of them. Can I get away with adding 2 windows here? Adding one that's kind of tucked away here, and adding one that's kind of there. And I did all of these vines, and now they're all going to be hidden, you guys. Doesn't that suck? Too much? All right. See, I listen. You guys talk, and I listen. That's what I love about this community. We all help each other out. Some have more business sense than others. I kind of, you know, Yeah. Sometimes my business sense is not all there, you guys. All right, so we got that going. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and adhere this down right there. So I'm gonna glue this bottom part there, and I'm gonna start building the scene, you guys. Let's start getting the show crack-a-lacking. Yes, 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 yes. My daughter makes fun of me every time I use these weird words. She's like, "Where are you? You're still in the 90s, mom." I'm like, "No, I'm not. Only in my mind. Physically, I'm in the present, though." All right, so I've got that down. I'm gonna go ahead and just glue this down here, only for extra support and because I want this to be nice and glued down, kind of flat, because I'm gonna be adding some type of trim, ribbon or lace or something to the edge of this somewhere down here. So hopefully you guys are good in frame. And I'm gonna level this out and kind of stick this down. And I am leaving my edges exposed, which is why it was really important for me to kind of get that, get that edge up the right way. Get that nice and centered. And I was gonna add glue to it, but I forgot. But it's okay because I have it anchored in the bottom, so it should be fine. This should not be going anywhere. I'm gonna be gluing everything but the actual windows themselves so they can open. And this is not a die that I have. I wish I had this one. I have to go looking for this one. I know this is one of those that they get, but this was actually gifted to me a long, long while ago. And it's probably a Spellbinders die, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Let's tuck this windowsill just a little bit. And just make sure that this is kind of going on straight here. And it's done with foam. This is made on one of those glittery foam packs, those glittery foam sheets. This is not on paper. Hi, Brandy. How are you, darling? So this is one of those that is from actual foam. This is not paper, you guys. And then this is still open so that you can pop that open if you wish to. Pop the other side open. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. And it adds a little bit of shimmer. And two things I love, you guys, is metallics and shimmer. Yes. So I'm going to tuck in. How am I going to do this? I think half of this can be covered up and that should be okay. And then this here. So I'm going to go ahead and put this guy down. Now on this, I'm going to definitely use a little bit of glue on each one of these little foam pieces. I was definitely in the mood to create something different. And I've been working on a lap book, which is pretty much made out of a folded folder. Some of you guys might already know what that is, but it's definitely new to me. Good night, Janet. I'll talk to you later, my friend. So let's see. I'm going to cover up a piece of that. Trying to get this 12 to be kind of, there we go. I don't want to cover too much of it up, but I think that should be alright. That should be okay there. It's kind of hard to sometimes distinguish the placing of certain things, and I think that this butterfly on this little top corner here will do very well. Because in my experience, I've had stuff that I've created and then months later, the stickers fall off. I'll find pieces of it on the floor. things would just magically tend to, you know, just start falling off, either from one side or the other side, but it just never really lasts. So I've always gotten into the habit of, you know, stickers and foams to just always kind of add, um, you know, kind of always add that glue and that foam on there. I mean, add the glue on the foam and the stickers. Anything that has to do with one of these little manufactured sticker backs. Okay, that works. So far, very dimensional. And I'm loving the fact that it's so dimensional. I'm going to see what I have in my stash. Let me see. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe not. So we'll see what happens with this. And then on the butterfly itself, I'm only gonna glue the bottom because I like the fact that it kind of comes up like so. So I'm just gonna kind of glue that there. And so far, so good. It's building, you guys, it's building. Yes, the same with washi tape. And washi tape, I don't know, sometimes you can add as much washi tape as you want to it, as much glue as you want to it, and then the washi tape will still fall right off. So I'm not too fond of washi tape in all its glory. I'll use it for decorative purposes in very small amounts. I am not fond of washi tape like that. I'll use it for like my planner and, like I said, very small, tiny, tiny projects where I can just rip little pieces off. And I like the distressed look anyway, and I'll just use it all shredded up and not worry too much about it and leave it like that. Thank you. So far it's working. So far it's working, you guys. I'm so super excited. Every time a plan comes together, I get happy. There's nothing like a plan coming together. So let's see now. Because I wanted to add, I probably should have added this under the clock. Maybe I can add it here somewhere. Let's see. I'm thinking about layering some kind of lace on here. And seeing how that kind of looks. Kind of like that. What do you guys think? Have a very thin kind of trim here. And then the pink. Okay, this doesn't want to stay on like that. So come on, help me out, little ribbon. So what do you guys think with that little bit of trim in the bottom? Good? Yay! See? See? A little bit of planning goes a long way. And I'm usually not one to plan, you guys, but today I actually went ahead and pre-cut and pre-did, pre-sorted most of my stuff to get this thing going. I also have bling, you guys. I don't know. A little bit of bling, maybe? I can maybe add some bling on the sides. Maybe that'll cheapen it. I don't know. Sometimes you can do one thing that'll just throw the whole thing off. So we'll see what happens here. I'm going to go for my trusty glue. Hello, Chronic Crafter, and welcome to my show. If we can call it that. My little paper crafting adventure today. So let's see. I don't want to get this too dirty, so I'm going to move some of these things to the side. Put this thing back in my gelato base. Where's my little cap for this? Oh, they. I lost the cap somewhere. I lost the cap somewhere. And I still have some of these cute little butterflies that I'm going to be adding, you know, sorted out. I'm probably going to try to go for some of these branches to at least give them some kind of purpose. because I think I've lost the whole purpose of that. I kind of like it there because it adds something of interest in that corner, but um, overall, I think I kind of lost the appeal of it being there. Yes, yes, yes. Bling, bling, bling. So I might just do that, add some bling. So here I'm just going to try to smooth this baby out. And right over that baby, before I even go into any kind of cutting anything, I'm going to add this other baby right over it. And this is what is awesome about this glue, that you can go into fabrics, you can go into paper, plastic, metal, anything. And it will literally save you time and time and time again. Absolutely love it. It's definitely my go-to. Okay. I think I have to add a little bit higher than that so that I have some of that pink kind of poking out, because otherwise I'm not going to have some of that pink kind of poking out. So let's see here. Okay, that'll work. Just want some of that pink kind of showing its pretty little face around here. And now we're going to have the thinner one. Yes. It is my favorite of all time. If I was one of those scrapbookers on the go, I would definitely take this glue with me everywhere. And now I'm going to add this little bit of trim right here, just to give it a nice little shine right over that. And it kind of goes well with the whole color scheme. And there we go. And it dries really, really quick, which is another plus for me, because I do not like to wait around, guys. Oh, no, no, no. Any of you guys that see me do mixed media, you know that I put everything on top of everything on top of everything on top of everything and just let nature do its thing. I don't even wait for it to dry half the time. I just throw it all together. And somehow it always works. I don't know. I'm telling you guys, it's magic. It's magic how that happens. Okay. So let me just flip this kind of over and trim, trim, trim. All those little pieces I save for mixed media, and I incorporate them usually in my journal when they're too small to create anything else with it. That's usually what I do with those little tidbits. Usually they make nice little added decorations here and there. So I am loving this card. This is one of my very first cards of this style, this type. I like vintage, and usually when I try to go shabby, I somehow always end up going vintage. But this is like my first actual all the way. But it is still kind of a mix between shabby and vintage, isn't it? Because it's got the pink in it. To me, that pink is like when you mix strawberry with chocolate. You guys ever do that? When you mix strawberry ice cream with chocolate ice cream, that beautiful color that you get? That's what it looks like to me. Yes, it is. It is amazing. So I'm thinking that what I might do, I don't know if this is gonna be a bit much, but I don't, yeah, I'm gonna go blingless today, you guys. I think I'm gonna go blingless. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nada. I always try, and I think this one I was a little bit more prepared, which is what helped me. This one says 1915, which was part of I guess the era for this beautiful lady there. I'm gonna be placing some of these butterflies mostly onto that branch somehow. So I'm going to be creating like a little cluster of butterflies here, um, right along those lines, just to give them a little bit of purpose, so that there's a reason why they're kind of there. And again, everything I do, you guys, I do it with faith and with my fingers crossed, and I'm just hoping for the best. Please, glue scissors, don't fail me now. No, she's not a stamp. She is not a stamp, darling. She would make an amazing stamp. There probably is a stamp out there somewhere, but she personally is not. I didn't stamp her out. I just acquired her through searching, just searching and saving. I'm not gonna put them all in there because I think that would be too much of a cluster, but I'm gonna bring some of these down just so that it looks like they're kind of flying in that direction. They're all out my window, you guys. The butterflies are all out of my window. There's not really much of a place for a sentiment, I guess, on this. So the sentiment would definitely have to go on the inside. But with this kind of a presentation, how much of a sentiment? I think this screams "I love you," right? Do you really have to write it down? Do you really have to put it in there? I don't think so. I don't think so. But you know what? I think I am gonna add bling, but I'm gonna add individual bling and not the strong bling. I think I'm gonna add some individual bling here and there. I want to just change the direction of that a little bit. And let's see. I might as well add one more because it just kind of looks off balance somewhere here on the top for me, for my own liking. Just looks a little bit off. So I'm gonna just add one kind of there, and it kind of gives them a little bit of a reason to kind of be there. A little bit of butterflies here and there. Let me get some blingage, because you can never go wrong with blingage, right, you guys? It just has to be the right kind of blingage. So let's see what I find. Let's see. Oh, I think that'll look lovely. That'll look lovely, governor. I don't have stickles, Donna. What I have is um what I use as stickles, I should say, is this right here. It's called Liquid Glass by Deco Art. But it takes, I have to leave it for a couple hours in order for it to dry. So like if this was a project that I was doing off camera, then this would be what I would use. And it does a beautiful job. It does a really beautiful job. Not only that, it also magnifies the image. So let's say like in this 1945, it will make it 1915 or whatever it is, it will make it actually look bigger. I love this product, and it's by Deco Art, if I didn't say that. But yeah, you have to leave it dry for a little while, and it's self levels, but that's as close as I can get to stickles, you guys. Sprinkle a little bit of glitter in it and let it do its thing. But yes, so I'm gonna add these really thin. They're a lot smaller. I think that these will look great in the center of these, because their color is kind of neutral. So let's try one and see. What do you guys think? It's like a peachy kind of color. I don't know if that shows too well on the camera itself, but I think 2 on each will definitely go a long way for this. I would normally add glue for this too, but I don't think that this is gonna fall off. And if it does, I can always add more. Thank you, my friends. Thank you. I'm so glad you guys liked it, because you guys know that paper crafting is not my forte. I always try, but you know, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't get so lucky. It really does depend, at least for me, on the project. I have a lot more luck with paints for some reason. So let's see. So yes, oh, I love the blingage. Love the blingage. I feel like it needs one more. No, that's way too much. That won't fit in there properly. I almost blinked out her eye. She got lucky. She got lucky. She almost had a blinked out eye. Oh man. Oh, maybe I can make the hands out of this. Let's see. Let's see if I can make the hands of time out of the bling. Let's see how we do this. Maybe we can get away with it. Doing the hands of time. And let's add two right there. And add. Sorry I'm making you guys dizzy with moving this picture around. Trying to create an arrow here. Trying to see if it'll actually work for me. Right, and then right there. And then it needs one more. Right on the top, right? That guy's gonna fall right off. So let's dot it and then add it. There we go. Oh, yes. So it's 2 o'clock. It's time for tea. Is it time for tea, you guys? Or is it time for coffee? And it's 2:30. Oh, let me grab another string because that one's getting all weird on me. It is 2:30 here, wherever she lives. And I was wondering, I'm like, how am I going to make those hands? But I figured it out. Good night, Angela. Thanks for stopping by. I figured it out, you guys. Nothing like blink to fix a problem. Nothing like blink to fix a problem, you guys. And it is done here. I think it looks awesome. And I'm not going to do anything else to this card, I don't think, besides assemble it. Finish the assembly process. So I think this cover is finito. And this is how it looks. If you want to get more fancy, then you can always add more trim around the edges. I might do that at a later time. But I really want to say it will look cute if you add. Come on, Carmen. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do this? I think I'm going to do this, you guys. Because as much as I can leave a project incomplete, I love finishing them. So I might just do that. But I'm going to finish the rest of the card and then I might just come back, depending on how much time I'm taking. Thank you. Thank you. I'm loving it. So far, I'm really, really loving it. So I'm going to go ahead now. My second part. And on that one, I think I'm going to glue this piece in the inside. And then somewhere here is going to be a, some kind of a card or a space to create the sentiment. But before I do that, on this one, I will actually have to now go ahead and glue my spine before I get into that. So I'm trying to find my spine. I don't know where I put it. I know it's somewhere around here. There it goes. So we're going to glue the spine on now so that we have the opening mechanism for this card, or it won't be much of a card. Thank you. Thank you. It's funny how things kind of work out. This is what the mixed media brain does to me. It allows me to put these things kind of together. Even though I always kind of go for paint somehow, some way. Believe me, I'm so tempted to splash paint all over the front of that thing. You guys have no idea. I'm like, what would they say if I just grab some white and just splash some paint on this really quickly? But I'm like, no, don't do it to yourself. Just let it go. You can always paint any other day. So I'm pretty much making sure that it's right on that edge so that I can conceal it as much as possible. Pieces of glue, little balled up pieces of glue. And I'm gonna go ahead and glue my paper down. I have this one. I'm trying to figure out which other one I can use in case I don't want to use that one. There's not much gray going on here. Is there gray? Will that look okay? No, I'd rather have the other one. I'd rather have the other one. So let me go ahead and trim off all my little edges like I did before with the other one. And yes, that. Oh no, I trust me. My mind is like on a different level right now. I don't know. I think it switched gears on me because they're like, no, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. So let's see. Just trying to level this out so that I am only removing the white and not the pattern. Yes, it would look nice actually for a romantic photo album, definitely. But you know what's funny? When my brain goes into let's make an album mode, it doesn't work. It does not work for me. I don't know. Something shuts off. The lights go out. The birds leave. I don't know what happened. Or the birds come in. I don't know. Something happens. Something happens. The chemicals change in my brain, and I literally get fried. Like I get so stuck. It's not even funny. Like I'm doing a lab book, and I've been doing it since the beginning of January. Usually I'm done with a project by now. I'm still like trying to figure out what to do. Like I have it here, and this is my bundle so far of all the stuff that I still have to add on the inside. I would give you guys a sneak peek, but I'm gonna do hopefully a full review one day when I actually have it all finished up. That's the goal. That's one of those projects that has taken me a long time. It's taken me a long time. My mind just doesn't work in album mode for some reason. I love them and I like making them in the sense of like flip book style. So I can turn a flip book into an album, but for some reason I can't just go into let me make an album. I've started several of them. I've even figured out different ways of getting the pages in and all that stuff. And like when it comes to actually finishing it, I don't, nope, nope. It just does not work for me. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did before with a little bit of double-sided tape. I'm just trying to figure out the edges. Not figure out the edges, but trying to get this somewhat right. I'm just gonna place these down. I'm not trying to stick them on too tightly. I just want something to hold on to the paper when I place it down. So I'm just gonna just put this down kind of lightly, just so that it kind of holds them in place when I go place them. So that when I start gluing the rest of the paper down, I'm in some level of alignment. And my paper trimmer leaves the edges really fuzzy, but it's okay because it kind of feeds to the distressed look. So I'm kind of like okay with that. Let's see. Okay, so I'm pretty good with the spacing around that. So now I'll start to glue. Yes, they do. They do. This is not like the worst. And then for me, that I become so OCD with stuff. Like once I start painting or gluing and adding, like I don't know how to stop, you guys. It's so bad. Like I get so stuck, especially with paint. Like no, I need an intervention when it comes to paint. Somebody literally has to tell me, stop, Carmen, stop, 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 stop. You're on the 20th layer, girl. I think you've got the whole thing covered. Yes, you can stop now. Alarms, sound off. Like, like it's just crazy, crazy, crazy. And I'm just gonna lift up my paper. And roll that sticky thing right off. Do the same for the other side. Kind of gingerly roll that off. Now you can go ahead and stick it down with double-sided paper, but usually when I put the tape on it and I stick it down, I always stick it crooked, so I always have to lift it up anyway. So this just kind of saves me the trouble of, number one, wasting tape, number two, tearing my paper when I glue it down. And then this way I can just go right into it and not have to worry too much about it. And then now I go into all my edges and just glue down all of my edges. It just makes my life just a little bit easier. Doesn't always work, but it works more often than it fails. So I'm okay. I'm okay with it. Oh, you have? Oh, I did that. I worked on so many ATCs um, for a challenge that I entered. That it was just like redonkulous. But I had fun, and again, that's the thing. Once I start painting and adding paint to stuff, somebody literally has to come and stop me. So I think what I want to do with this one, I'm gonna see if I got some more. I don't think I have any more pink ribbon. I'm gonna see if I have more, but I think what I want to do with this one to make it a little bit different is I actually might want to add some pink ribbon on here. I just don't know if I have enough, which, let's see. Tell me that by the graces of God, yay! I'm gonna have enough. Whoop, whoop. Love that. No, not at all. I just keep my tip unclogged. And I have a really fine tip here. I just make sure that I keep this unclogged. If anything, like this glue here, I could never get this glue to pass through this nip here. But Diane Reevely, I think it is, or Diane Wakely, she also has these in a bigger gauge. That those you can definitely fit any of your thick glues through. I actually have one that I purchased, and that one works wonderfully for thicker glues. But yeah, sometimes you will have to just add that little drop of water in it just to get them to pass. But I don't do it to my Dollar Tree glue because I don't want to run the risk of my glue not working exactly as I expect it to. So I leave it be. I leave it be. All right, so let's see. Let's see. So I'm gonna cross this off right here. And then I'm not gonna be cutting into these corners because I don't want all of these edges to be ruffling out all over the place. I just want to add a little level of fancy. A little level of fancy. And I'm probably gonna add those 2 remaining butterflies in here as well. So, hold it down like so. And I'll go into it. I'll go into the ribbon to glue it down more as I, get it all ready. Then I'll go in and add any little bits to the edges that I have to add. I'm just praying right now that it's all the way through enough, because sometimes our guesstimations are short instead of longer. You end up with a shorter piece, so it doesn't always work out the way that you want it to. So this is gonna go this way. So then here I am adding the glue down. Even on a card, you guys, I somehow managed to always take more than an hour. Oh, I try so hard, you guys, to get it together. I really do. I try so hard to come in with a quick project, but I don't know if I know of a quick project, you guys, besides coming in here and saying, hello, everybody, goodbye, everybody. That was a fun show. That's it. Yes, you can find them online. This one is by Deco Art. So if you search up Deco Art fine tip writers, you'll come up with the Deco Art one. And I love this thing. It is, ever since I got it, this is the only thing that I use. Like, I don't use nothing else with that Dollar Tree glue. And I wish I had the packaging for the other one, but I know it's one of the Ranger people. I think it's Diane Wakely. Let's see. I think it's this one right here. I have it on my other one, but this one has a really big. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but I mean, in comparison, it has a really, really big gauge. This one, and it works well for the thicker glues and your glitter glues. It works really, really well for that. But I don't really use. This is not really my go-to glue. I use it. I have one here on my desk that I do use. But the Dollar Tree is really my go-to glue. I have like so many bottles of that I buy all the time, just because I never ever want to run out. To me, that's like the equivalent to like the glue apocalypse, and I don't know what I would do. I don't know what I would do, you guys. Oh my god. Some people, their go-to things is the tape, the double-sided tape, or their tape runners. For me, my go-to thing is this 99-cent glue. Yes, it's the best thing. It's the bee's knees. So let's see. Let's get this nice and straight on that edge. And it's always the last one that gives you guys the biggest trouble, It's always the last one. All right, so now that that's done, okay, a little piece of fabric. All right, so let me just reinforce these edges so that they don't come off. This is just to give it that little element of bling inside, that little bit of shine. I'm gonna add these butterflies right here on the tops. So I think that's what I'm gonna do with that, because I am all out of butterflies. How I created with this was with the scraps that was left over from that page, because I don't like to throw anything out. Frugal me. So I just used the same pattern that was used on the little vintage girl. I used the same kind of pattern there. And I'm gonna put these on the outside so something kind of sticks out from the corner. Kind of like that idea. I'm gonna add my two little sets of bling on here just to finish that look. And then on the inside of this, which I'm not gonna do it now, but on the inside of that, what's gonna go is like a little note card. like a cute little note card space that I would probably distress with some pink and some browns to kind of match the layout. And then I would just glue that somewhere in the center to give you an area to write in. For this one, I'm not going to do that. What we are going to do is pretty much close this up. And we are going to call this one a day, you guys. Yes. I got a little bit of paper crafting out of my system. Now I can go back to splurging on paint and not feel guilty that I'm giving it all of my attention and ignoring my paper. And just so that I do not make a mess on my inside of my card, let's put this the other way. I'm just going to do this just to protect it, just in case. And make sure that this is, again, I'm going to level it out with my spine. And just kind of push it down so that it is directly on my spine and not over it, not under it. So that this can open. And because they're the same color, the paper's all the same color. You make a little bit of a mistake like I just kind of did and offset it just slightly. It won't be too big of a deal because it's all the same. And then this is going to be covered on the inside as well. But pretty much this is my gigantic card. No. And if it was, I couldn't say it because he's in the room. So I couldn't say it. But no. Something for him, I would have to do one of those cards that has like a million pop-out hearts. That's something that I would make for him. Just to show him how much I love him. But no. This is definitely something that's more like a friendship card. You know, more geared towards a girl, I think. You could definitely give something like this to a guy, but only if he's into this type of stuff. Like if he's really, really deep into like these kinds of Victorian images and stuff like that, then he would probably love it. But a man's man, I don't know. I don't know, you guys. I don't know. So it's too busy with that. So let's see. I might just take some of the pink cardstock again and just cover that in the pink. I think that's probably what I would do. This is not the same pink. That's what happens when you have like 3 shades of pink and they're all next to each other. I think that's what I would do. And I would probably distress that a little bit, but I'm not going to distress it with this because I don't have a gray. And I think that in order to distress this, probably you will need to match it somehow with the gray. And all I have is the brown, which I think it will make this clash. So I am just going to do it like that and add it in there. And I'm going to lift this up so that it doesn't interfere with my ability to fold the card closed. I'm going to, hopefully you guys can still see. And then this will just have a nice, beautiful area. Maybe, let's see. I might just get a little bit fancy with it. Just a little bit, you guys. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. But I just think I have to. I think I have to. I'm not sure. Let me see. Let me see, you guys. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me see if I find it. I don't know if it's in this one or my other binder. I think it's in my other binder. I might have to, you guys. Oh my God. Because I can't attach that paper plain. Oh, that would drive me crazy. So let's see. Let's see. Where's my flowers? Oh, where are my flowers? Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. It's gotta be in here somewhere. It's gotta be in here somewhere. Just give me 1 second, you guys. Let me see if I find my foliage. It's all divided, but what happens is that sometimes I'm in a rush, and yeah, you know what happens when you're in a rush, right? You put stuff where it don't go. Yeah, I do that. I'm guilty, you guys. I'm guilty. Um, trying to see. I think maybe this one. It's maybe a little bit of this one. But I'm trying to see. Where are you? I'm looking for a specific one. I might not have it in there. Let me see. That's crazy. I have stamps like everywhere. Is it in my little box? This is like my little mixed media when I'm doing like art journaling, stamping and stuff like that. Like I have this little box here, and I'm thinking that maybe I put it in here, but nope, I didn't. So I'm gonna go with this one because I'm not gonna spend 3 hours looking for it. I must have put it somewhere and I just don't recall where. It's how much I love it. I misplaced it. So I'm just gonna do this. I have this one here, and I'm only gonna do the corners. I'm not gonna go crazy with it. I'm only gonna do the 4 corners just so that it's not completely empty and completely blank, because I don't really like the whole idea of it being blank like that. And what I'm using to stamp my thing is a picture frame, an acrylic picture frame that you find at the dollar store. Pretty much any of those places will do. And I'm gonna stick this actually right here. So that's what I'm gonna use, because I like the handle of it. And I can't believe I don't know where I put that. Gracias, gracias, Naira. I aim to please. I aim to please. So let's see. I'm gonna stamp this off a little bit, and hopefully not get too harsh of an impression. I just want to add a little bit of detail to this paper so that it doesn't look so so blah, right? Just something light, because the color is gray and I don't really have a gray one, so I don't want it to be just so boldly black. So that's why I'm kind of just took a little bit of that darker layer off. I mean, if it comes out a little dark, I'm okay with it, I guess. But I'm okay with it being kind of light as well, almost kind of hiding. Like these vines are coming in, but they're kind of hiding along the way. So just one time real quick. And I like this because I can hold this here and then kind of position it, and then I can just go into it and press where I wanted to press. Plus it holds a lot of my bigger stamps, which, you know, when I'm making like cards and stuff like that, I can go ahead and use my Corky because it helps me to do like multiple, you know, doing a lot of them at the same time. But when I'm trying to do something like I'm an art journal or something like that, I'll usually go for this or for one of my blocks. This is just cheaper to replace than the other ones. Oh, it's okay. Right now we're working on pretty much the final inside cover for the card. Let me just put this back in my glue purse. And yes, I have a tape, not a glue purse, I have a tape purse where I keep all my tapes and I hang it off my little caddy. Just to keep everything kind of secure. So this is it. So kind of light. I think I might want to add one on each side just to complete it, because even though it's 4, for some reason it just feels off balance. And this is my OCD kicking in. Somebody tell me to stop if I'm doing too much. This is my OCD kicking in, you guys. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Just want a really light impression. Really light. And let me tell you something, you guys. You can create your own pattern paper just with your stamps. You can do this. You can go around your edges of papers and create your own patterns, you guys. It's really not that hard to do. And it comes out just as beautiful. Comes out just as beautiful. There we go. So this paper I think is done. I am happy. I'm gonna put that there, put this away. And now I'm gonna glue this on the inside of that. So now this is gonna go on the inside of that. So even if you didn't want to write, let's say on this side, you can definitely write on this side. And I feel like it's missing. It's still missing too, you guys. It still doesn't feel balanced enough for me. Ugh, what am I gonna do? I think I need one in the top and one in the bottom just to finish off closing all those open areas. Some things you just have to look at twice, right? Before we figure out, okay, this is what we want. Right here, this paper right here, you guys, I'm gonna definitely use this on my art journal. Like, this does not go into the garbage. Oh no, sorry, Bob. Not at all. Okay, let's see. It might not be completely centered, but I'm okay with that. Imperfection is human. Sí, ¿verdad? Yo creo que sí, Donna. Yo creo que sí. Yo creo que sí. Pero no sé si se la voy a dar. Puede que sí, puede que no. Todo depende. Todo depende. Okay. So I'm really happy with this now, I think. I think. Oh my God, this is so bad, you guys. I think I'm happy with this now. Because at least it's filled in most of the area. I think it helps out a lot with the paper not just looking so vacant. Do I have something that let me see if I have something that I can distress those edges with. Just to add a little something, you guys. Just to add a little something. Let's see. NTK just too strong. The fire brick, maybe. The fire brick might look nice on there. The fire brick might look nice on there, you guys. I think I'm going to go with the fire brick. And I think I'm going to distress that just a little bit. Just to finish off the page, because so much hard work, you cannot just leave it like that. That would be cruel. That's just cruel. So let's just see. Let's just add a little bit of this. I'm going to add it to the back, since the back nobody's going to see. And just see if this is something that I even want to do to this. I don't think I like that. I don't like that. So let's see. Where's the pink? I know I have it. I know I have that worn lipstick. Where are you? Where are you, worn lipstick? Here it is. Let's see how the worn lipstick kind of looks. Okay. I could deal with the worn lipstick. This fire brick, Too dark, too dark. Because to me, that fire brick doesn't really look red. I don't know. I know that was probably the goal, but it doesn't look red to me at all. No, I just wanted to come see the color on the pink before I actually put it over the image, and then I can't take it back. So this is why I wanted to see first. I did a quick little test run as opposed to having to use another piece of paper to test it out. So I kind of like how that pink looks. So now I'm going to flip it over. And since this is going to be glued in the back, nobody will ever know that would ever happen, right? That's our little secret. That's our little secret right there. But no, I'm just gonna lightly do this. It's a little scratchy. It's giving it a little bit of a textured look, which I kind of like. So I'm kind of like okay with this right now at the moment. So I'm just kind of bringing it all together so that it's more of a completed page. You know, this is up to the person who's creating this type of style, if they like to do this or not. I wasn't gonna do it, but once I had all of that together, like the page itself just looked too pretty for me not to finish it off. So this is the reason why it's getting finished off. Otherwise, it would probably just stay like that. Come on, pick up, pick up, pick up. Pick up, man, pick up. Then I'm bringing it a little bit deeper into the stamps themselves, at least the center ones, the ones that are coming into the center of the page, just to bring it out a little bit more. But other than that, once this is glued down, you guys, which we are about to get there, I think this is just my way of always extending these live streams. They're like, wait, guys, one more thing. Don't go. Stay with me a little longer. But yes, this is my little way of just kind of tricking you guys to spending a little bit more time with me here. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. It just felt like I needed it. So this is why I did it. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't have done it. We're almost there. I have managed to shred through 2 of these little DIY sponges in one sitting, which is like almost a miracle for me because I normally don't run through them that quickly, but yes, I did. I did run through them that quickly. So that's about it. Is it about it, Carmen? Is it about it? Yes, it's about it. It's Carmen. I am cutting you off. The inks, the sponges, the glues, all of that good stuff. All right, you guys. So now I'm going to prop this up right here and leave it kind of open like so that it doesn't interfere too much with my ability to close the card itself. And then that's it. Probably not now, only because I never know where these kinds of cards go. Like when I make these kinds of projects, especially like cards, it's rare that I put a sentiment in it because I never know where it's gonna go. Like very easily, this card could turn into a birthday card, as it can turn into a congratulations card, as it could turn into hello, how you doing card. So I never really know. And I feel like when I stamp it, it finalizes its destination. Like that's it. I have to only give this to a person who has a birthday or has this or has that. And sometimes I'm in a rush, you know, to find something to give to somebody. So I'll look through the cards that I've made, and at that point in time, whatever card speaks to me and speaks to me about the person, because usually I'll give them something that I feel like resonates with them somehow. Then is usually if I stamp a sentiment, like I'll stamp it out then, or you know, however it ends up turning into, whatever it's gonna end up turning into, it turns into at that point in time. So I still leave a little bit of room to kind of play with it a little bit more later on, to kind of personalize it a little bit more. So I very rarely go ahead and do that unless I'm like mass producing a certain amount of cards. Like I was doing these wedding, not wedding, they were like I think it was like a bachelorette party type of thing, or it was like one of those wedding reception type of things, like those thank you cards that you give out to the people that attend your, I think that's what it was. It was for the engagement party. That's what it was for. It was like thank you cards for the engagement party for one of my daughter's teachers. And those I made pretty much the same card, 3 different styles, but more or less the same card. And those all were stamped with the same thing on the inside. Thank you very much for coming. 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 I did so many of those that day that I kind of hated paper crafting for like a good 3 weeks. I was like, I don't even want to see another piece of paper. So I know for a fact that mass producing cards is definitely not my thing. Definitely not my thing. So this is kind of set and done, you guys. This is kind of set and done. What I am going to do here, just to kind of blend it all in together, where is that little piece of, I'm actually going to add a little bit of that ink right on the inside, the little inside seam. You could actually do this beforehand. Like if you already know what your color scheme is going to be, then by all means ink up that center right where that fold is going to be on the inside of your card, and then everything will match flawlessly. Everything will match flawlessly, and you won't have to worry about 2-tone, 3-tone, 4 tones. You'll be good to go. And you know, you can make these cards even bigger if you want. This is an 8.5 by 11. I didn't really trim anything off of the card stock itself, although I did trim off of the paper. But yes, voila, 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 voila. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I think it came out really, really cute. I love bling. I love bling, you guys. And I have 4 of these. So I'm going to add them. I'm going to add them, yes. Because I love bling. And I'm OCD with crafts, arts and crafts. I have a problem. I have a problem. Yes, I do, you guys. I'm addicted to glues and scissors and papers and paint. Oh my. And this definitely did it for me. Yay! All done. All done. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I haven't done a card like this in a long, long time. But I definitely like it. Definitely, definitely. So this is what the final outcome. There's some other little smudges off of there. This is what the final outcome of the card came out. I was still able to use the last 2 butterflies that were there, that I had left over from what I punched out. This is a great thing to do, you guys. Whenever you're working on projects, definitely use those scraps. Don't put them away. Literally, pull out your punches right then and there and get rid of it. And whatever is left over from the scrap, throw that away. Grab your little butterflies. I store mine in CD bags, because then I can see what's inside. And sometimes I'll write the, write the label or whatever. But I have all my little die cuts and stuff like that separated into the little CD bags, because I can always see what's inside. And just put them there, because you never really know, Luckily for me, since I was already working on this, I just put them all there, and I knew I was going to incorporate them somehow. But yes, I love it, love it, love it. Completely DIY. Who could ask for better? Tell me, who? Let me know. Let me know. So this is what it came out like, you guys. Thank you all so much, as usual, for spending the time with me. I so greatly, greatly appreciate your company. And definitely check me out. Check out the channel if you haven't done so. If this is the first time here. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. If you haven't given the video a thumbs up, please remember to give it a thumbs up, because I work all so hard for you all. And thank you all for watching. Bye. Have an awesome weekend, you guys.